Siberian tiger versus grizzly bear. Who would be more effective and win a fight? It is quite fascinating that both animals have stunning abilities and belong to powerful species of animals. The grizzly bear and the Siberian tiger are one of the most popular animals that draw the attention of numerous people for its deadly abilities and powerful body. Both beasts are predators at the top of the food chain, so the Siberian tiger and the grizzly bear are the undisputed lords of their respective habitats. The Siberian tiger is a subspecies of tiger that lives in Eastern Asia. They are one of 6 living subspecies of tigers, along with Bengal, Sumatran, South China, Indo-Chinese, and Malayan tigers. The Siberian subspecies is the largest subspecies of tiger. Grizzly bears are members of the brown bear family. The term grizzly refers to the appearance of the hair on the back of mature bears, which is light brown with white tips, giving it a grizzled or grey appearance. Size and description. Being the largest of all the tigers, this is an impressive hunter. The male measures an average of 11 feet, 3.3 meters in length, from head to tail, and weighs about 390 pounds, 176 kilograms. Females are slightly smaller, at an average length of 8.8 feet, 2.7 meters, of approximately 260 pounds, 118 kilograms. The Siberian tiger developed some physical adaptations to endure the cold climate of its habitat, like a thick layer of fat and a very dense fur, paler and with fewer dark stripes compared to other tigers. It has a yellow or reddish skin with dark, narrow and widely separated dark brown stripes. The chest, belly, inner limbs and the area around the neck are white. Grizzlies are among the largest living carnivores. They are 3.3 to 9 feet, 1 to 2.8 meters in length, and weigh 800 pounds, 363 kilograms. Grizzly bears have a dished or concave face, short, round ears, and a large shoulder hump. They range in color from very light tan, almost white, to dark brown. The word grizzly means sprinkled or streaked with grey, much like the grizzly bear's fur. Their eyesight is poor, and they have been known to attack humans without evident provocation. Range and habitat. This big cat lives in a much smaller area than it has historically roamed. Most Siberian tigers live in eastern Russia and northern China. Their population lives primarily in the Sokoty-Alan mountain range. The primary habitats of the Siberian tiger are taiga or snow forest, birch forest, and boreal forest. They live in very harsh conditions. Winters are extremely cold, and snowfall can be very high during the winter. The vast majority of the population lives in remote mountainous regions, far from any human settlement. Most of their habitat choices also revolve around prey availability. Grizzly bears once roamed throughout the entire western United States, south into Mexico, including the Great Plains and along rivers in desert habitats. A large population of grizzly bears lives inland in Alaska and northern Canada. The southern populations in Canada's British Columbia and Alberta are greatly reduced. Grizzlies tend to like open areas like tundra, alpine meadows, and coastlines. For the most part, grizzly bears live alone. Every now and then, they will meet up with other grizzlies outside of mating season and stand next to each other, but not much socialization will occur. Diet. The Amur tiger is a very dedicated hunter, and they blend well into their surroundings. While they mainly hunt at night, they have been seen out during the daylight hours to find food. They can travel a large distance in their home range to find food. They tend to look for the larger prey, such as elk and wild boars. They use their powerful jaws to pounce into action after they have snuck up closely to their prey. They are able to take down animals that weigh several times more than they do. Grizzly bears are omnivores. The most commonly eaten kinds of plants are fleshy roots, fruits, berries, grasses, and forbs. If grizzly bears are on the hunt, their prey can include fish, especially salmon, rodents like ground squirrels, carrion, and hoofed animals like moose, elk, caribou, and deer. They are especially good at catching the young of these hoofed species. Grizzly bears can also target domestic animals like cattle and sheep, and cause economically important losses for some ranchers. Behavior. It is a solitary and very territorial taiga, which usually marks trees and rocks to establish its area. Although there are only a few hundred Siberian tigers in their distribution range, they have the advantage of having vast areas available for searching food, an activity to which they dedicate part of the night. This animal is well known for its power and strength, which, added to a fearsome reputation, stir fear among humans. However, the Siberian tiger avoids contact with people, although it may conflict with them if they are sick, injured, or unable to hunt normally. Grizzly bears use sounds, movement, and smells to communicate. They growl, moan, or grunt, especially when females are communicating with their young, or during mating season when male bears can fight each other fiercely for the opportunity to mate with receptive females. Grizzly bears also rub their bodies on trees to scratch and to let other bears know they are there. Now is the time to find out who would win a fight between these two beasts. Both animals are predators at the top of the food chain, but these predators would never encounter each other naturally in the wild. Both animals are natural killers with plenty of murder weapons at their disposal. The Siberian tiger, in strength, it is unrivaled in the Russian Far East. An adult grizzly, like its subspecies, is far more massive and stronger than the Siberian tiger. Jaws. The grizzly's powerful jaw closes with a force of 1,250 psi, while the tiger's has a force of 950 psi, which is still enough to bite through bone. But the tiger's teeth are longer and thinner, leaving deeper wounds that bleed longer. Claws. This is an important source of trauma in the grizzly's arsenal. They are not as sharp as the Siberian tigers, but factor in the crushing power of the blow itself, and that could be the end of it. Such a blow could simply snap a tiger in two. Tigers are stealthy. They can move without making a sound and ambush and attack from the most advantageous position from their perspective, and at the most unpredictable moment. Bears are resistant to wounds, whereas the tiger clearly has the upper paw in terms of speed and agility. Bears are the armored tanks of the animal world. All its arteries and trachea are protected by solid fat and muscle, and lie very deep. Bears have been known to continue fighting even when bullets have penetrated their lungs and liver. Battle tactics. Without a doubt, the first thing a threatened bear will do is to rear up to look as big as possible. The tiger has one aim in mind: to bite through the neck bone. All tiger experts highlight this as the most common kill technique. But getting hold of the bear's neck is not easy, given the amount of fat and muscle. In my opinion, I put my money on the tiger because it is accustomed to killing. Tigers feed only on meat, and only on the meat of animals they kill, which is why they have more developed hunting skills. It knows exactly where to bite in order to kill its victim, how and where to strike with its paw. And they are more intelligent than the grizzly. So, in my opinion, the Siberian tiger always has the upper hand over the grizzly bear, and will win in a head-to-head fight. Saltwater crocodile versus grizzly bear. Who do you think could win a legendary fight? Despite the fact that they are both apex predators in most of their habitats, we have to ask what happens when a bear meets its match in the form of a harder, almost primordial creature, the crocodile. The grizzly bear is a brown bear subspecies found in North America. Grizzlies are brown in color, but their fur can appear white, tipped, or grizzled, which gives them their name. Saltwater crocodiles are the world's largest reptiles. Sea crocodile, Indo-Pacific crocodile, salty, marine crocodile, and estuarine crocodile are just a few of the names given to these massive reptiles. Size and description. Grizzly bears are huge and come in a variety of colors, ranging from a light tan to a dark brown. They have a prominent shoulder hump, a dished face, and short, rounded ears. The hump is a mass of muscles that attach to the bear's backbone and provide additional digging strength. They have long claws on their front feet, which help them dig for food and excavate their dens. Adult grizzlies can grow to up to 8 feet, 2.5 meters in length. Males are larger than females, weighing up to 1,700 pounds, 770 kilograms. A big female can weigh up to 800 pounds, 360 kilograms. The saltwater crocodile is the largest living reptile. They range in size from 16 to 21 feet, 4.8 to 6.4 meters in length, and weigh between 880 and 2,000 pounds, 400 and 907 kilograms, with males being significantly larger than females. They have a broad, heavy-set body with a huge head and are grey or brown in color. Their jaws are powerful and their limbs are short and strong. They have ridges extending from their eyes to their snout, which are more visible in elderly animals. Saltwater crocodiles have a valve that separates their mouth and throat, allowing them to open their jaws while underwater. Because their tail generates all of their propulsion, they keep their legs flat against their bodies or slightly out to the side while swimming. Range and habitat. The grizzly bear is a solitary creature. Individual bears have their own home ranges, which may overlap and are not really aggressively defended. The habitat of the grizzly bear can vary from dense forest to alpine meadows or Arctic tundra. The grizzly bear is not a true hibernator, contrary to popular belief. Its body temperature may drop a few degrees and its respiration may slow down slightly in the winter, but it can remain active throughout the season. The grizzly is found in western Canada as far as the eastern boundary of Manitoba. It is also found in Alaska, Wyoming, Idaho, and Washington. As human populations rise and intrude on its land, the grizzly bear's range has reduced. Despite the fact that this crocodile species has a wide range, its distribution is spotty. They are only found along India's eastern coast and are rare elsewhere. Northern Australia is home to a large population. Except for a few small areas in Southeast Asia, humans exterminated out the majority of the population. There are some rare populations in Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, where they were once widespread. These crocodiles can be found in a variety of aquatic habitats throughout their range. They can live in both fresh and salt water, including brackish water and estuaries, as their names suggest. Mangrove forests, beaches, rivers, river mouths, estuaries, and even the open ocean are some of the habitats they frequent. Diet. The grizzly bear, like humans, is omnivorous and a scavenger by nature, spending the most of their waking hours looking for food. Grizzly bears are adaptable, eating insects, a range of blooming plants, roots, tubers, grasses, berries, small rodents, fish, carrion, and other meat sources such as moose, elk, caribou, and deer, as well as human garbage if it is easily accessible. In the spring, summer, and fall of each year, grizzly bears are active and feeding for 6 to 8 months. To survive the winter, they must consume a huge amount of food during this time. Saltwater crocodiles eat mainly mammals, birds, and fish, although they are not picky eaters and will devour anything that comes close to the water's edge. They prefer to hunt at night and are ambush predators. They wait until their prey is close to the water's edge, then strike without warning. The animal is caught and dragged into the water. Most animals are killed by the crocodile's enormous jaw pressure, although others are drowned. Their most deadly attack is known as the death roll, where the crocodile grabs the animal and rolls powerfully. Behavior. Except for mothers and cubs, or when a good food source is available, grizzly bears are solitary animals. To communicate, they use sounds like growling, moaning, and grunting, as well as movement and odors. They can run fast, reaching speeds of around 35 miles per hour for short sprints, and they can also swim fast. Cubs are skilled at climbing trees to avoid danger, but as they get older, they lose this ability. Grizzlies will frequently rub their bodies against trees in order to scrape and alert other bears to their presence. Saltwater crocodiles are known for swimming into the sea. They contain salt glands, which allow them to live in the sea. Crocodiles travel large distances due to the ocean currents. They can spend so much time at sea that barnacles grow on their scales. Adult males maintain a territory that they allow females to pass through, but stop other males from entering. This species is extremely sedentary, preferring to sleep for the majority of the day and going months at a time between feeds. Now, in a one-on-one fight between a crocodile and a grizzly bear, who would win? Both the crocodile and bear are apex predators in their areas, in the vast majority of cases. In terms of their weight, if we talk about the biggest specimens of both species, it is clear that the crocodile has the advantage. But suppose the two beasts weigh almost the same. A great advantage of the bear over the crocodile is its speed and agility. Bears are very swift animals, especially considering their size. Crocodiles are far less agile than bears when moving on land because of their cumbersome bodies and preference for water-based travel. However, even if bears are not as flexible as big cats, they are bigger, which makes them harder to bite for the crocodile, and stronger, which makes them harder to hold onto for the crocodile. And also, when hunting larger prey, the crocodile still has to drown it. It can't kill it on its own. The biggest advantage of crocodiles is their mouths. The biting power of a crocodile is much higher than that of bears, 3,700 psi compared to 1,100 psi. Even their teeth are about 1 inch longer than bears. Bears have thick fur and skin below that to help ward off attack by others. Crocodiles also have thick scales on their body that reduce the effectiveness of attacks against them. Crocodiles mostly use ambush attacks on land, where they can drag animals down into the water or off cliffs so they can drown in deep waters. When it comes to bears, they usually attack with swipes using claws and mouths filled with huge teeth. Although both species carry weapons that could kill each other, which would come down to who is faster and luckier when fighting similar styles. I think the most important factor will be the fighting environment. Both these animals have the advantage in their own territory. If the fight takes place in the water, or even nearer water, the crocodile will definitely win. Bears are undoubtedly strong, but they've never faced anything like a crocodile to know their weaknesses. A crocodile would wait for a bear to drink from the water and then quickly emerge from the water, attacking bears on the head, where they have the least amount of fat and fur to protect them. The crocodile could use its immense weight to pull the bear into the water with them and inflict massive trauma in short order. If the fight takes place away from any water, thanks to the intelligence of the bear, I'm sure he'll find a way to kill the crocodile. For example, if he somehow manages to flip over the crocodile and bite the underside of it. Lion versus grizzly bear. Who would win a fight between these two apex predators? African lions and grizzly bears are both powerful predators on our planet. The African lion is widely seen in Africa, and grizzly bears are seen in America. The American grizzly bears are considered to be one of the most dangerous animals in the world. The African lions are one of the most successful predators, also known as the king of the jungle, or more accurately, king of the savannah. Both of these predators are quite ferocious and amazing wild animals, and they can stand firmly in a tough fight with each other. What do they look like? African lions can grow to between 9 and 10 feet long, 3 meters from head to tail, with the tail being about 2 to 3 feet long, 60 to 91 centimeters. They typically weigh between 330 to 550 pounds, 150 to 250 kilograms, with males reaching the higher end of that range. Lions have strong, compact bodies and powerful forelegs, teeth and jaws for pulling down and killing prey. Their coats are yellow-gold, and adult males have shaggy manes that range in color from blonde to reddish-brown to black. The length and color of a lion's mane is likely determined by age, genetics, and hormones. Grizzlies are massive animals with humped shoulders and an elevated forehead that contributes to a somewhat concave profile. The fur is brownish to buff, and the hairs are usually silver or pale-tipped to give the grizzled effect for which they are named. Large adult grizzlies may be about 8 feet, 2.5 meters long, and weigh about 900 pounds, 410 kilograms. Because of their bulk and long, straight claws, these bears rarely climb, even as cubs. Other grizzlies, however, are surprisingly agile and can run as fast as 48 kilometers per hour, 30 miles per hour. Their eyesight is poor, and they have been known to attack humans without evident provocation. How do they hunt? Lions prey on a large variety of animals, ranging in size from rodents and baboons to Cape buffalo and hippopotamuses, but they predominantly hunt medium to large-sized hoofed animals such as wildebeests, zebras, and antelopes. Lions are known to take elephants and giraffes, but only if the individual is young or especially sick. Lionesses living in open savanna do most of the hunting, whereas males typically appropriate their meals from the females' kills. Though a group of hunting lions is potentially nature's most formidable predatory force on land, a high proportion of their hunts fail. Typically, they stalk prey from nearby cover and then burst forth to run it down in a short, rapid rush. After leaping on the prey, the lion lunges at its neck and bites until the animal has been strangled. The bear is omnivorous. Its diet consists of berries, grain, fish, insects, birds, and mammals. The bear will hunt deer and moose and also feed on carcasses. However, a majority of the bear's diet, around 70%, consists of something other than meat. The bear kills its prey by biting it in the neck or back. It can also kill the prey animal with a strike of its forepaw, which is often enough to break the animal's spine. Often the bear will also bite its prey in the snout, which leaves deep canine marks that are clearly visible. The bear has also been known to bite its prey in the back of the neck to kill it. Where do they live? During the Pleistocene epoch, lions ranged across all of North America and Africa, through most of the Balkans, and across Anatolia and the Middle East into India. At present, the lion's main stronghold is in sub-Saharan Africa, and the Asiatic lion exists only as a remnant population made up of approximately 500 individuals inhabiting India's Gir National Park on the Kathiawar Peninsula. Lions inhabit a wide range of habitats, from open plains to thick brush and dry thorn forest. They are absent from equatorial areas dominated by moist tropical forest. Grizzly bears once roamed throughout the entire western United States, south into Mexico, including the Great Plains and along rivers in desert habitats. Control actions and habitat loss extirpated them from 98% of their original habitat in the US. A large population of grizzly bears lives inland in Alaska and northern Canada. The southern populations in Canada's British Columbia and Alberta are greatly reduced. Thanks to conservation efforts since about 1975, grizzly bears are recovering well in Yellowstone and elsewhere in the northern Rockies, and are even beginning to recolonize prairie habits along the Rocky Mountain front in Montana. Grizzly bears can be found in woodlands, forests, alpine meadows, and prairies. In many habitats, they prefer riparian areas along rivers and streams. How do they behave in the wild? A typical pride of lions consists of about 6 related females, their dependent offspring, and a coalition of 2 to 3 resident males that joined the pride from elsewhere. The pride is a fission fusion society, and pride mates are seldom found together, except for mothers that have pooled their offspring into a creche. Young males always leave home in search of unrelated mates. Lions are most affectionate to their like-sexed companions. Females spend their lives in their mother's pride or with their sisters in a new pride. Grizzly bears are intelligent, curious, and have excellent memory, particularly regarding where food sources are located. Grizzly bears are active during the day and night, but will often alter their habits to avoid humans in areas of high human use. In the heat of the day, grizzly bears will rest in day beds. Most grizzly bears spend their time alone, except when breeding or raising cubs. For 3 to 6 months during winter, grizzly bears enter dens and hibernate during periods of low food availability, deep snow, and low air temperature. In a one-on-one fight, who would win between an African lion and a grizzly bear? Some of you may say a bear because of its brute force and aggression. Others might say a lion because of its guile, stealth, and natural-born killer instinct. The outcome of a bear versus lion fight would be different in the forests of the Rocky Mountains than on the African savanna. Of course, lion versus bear remains completely hypothetical. These animals do not overlap, and even if they did, they would probably stay away from each other. Considering the unavoidable size difference between the two, the bear should be hot favorite to win any battle with a lion. Neither can lay claim to being braver than the other, but with varying weapons and skills at their disposal, this fight would be decided on either the fight IQ and strategy of the lion or the merciless attack of the bear. In terms of physical strength, the muscles of the African lion are stronger than that of the grizzly bear. On the other hand, the grizzly bears are heavier, longer, and taller than the African lion. African lions are better hunters and fighters than grizzlies, as African lions face much bigger challenges for its food in the African jungle. The paws of the grizzly are bigger than the African lion, and it is much more helpful to easily swipe in a stronger manner during a fight. A grizzly bear could easily stand with its hind legs for a long time, but the African lion can only stand for a few moments. It is a bigger advantage to the grizzly because it gives it the ability to attack easily. An African male lion normally has the mane that would protect its neck from any kind of heavy swipe from the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear has more fat in its body, and it is helpful for getting rid of the lion paw grip and swipes. Female grizzlies in Yellowstone are around the same size as lions, and in this case, the lion should usually win. However, in a head-on, face-to-face collision, the bear would win. A grizzly bear is way larger and heavier than an African lion. They can weigh twice as much. They can cause more damage to their opponent, even if lions have the upper hand in terms of speed and skill. A grizzly bear's claws are sharper and larger, with the ability to do a good amount of harm. If it comes to a fist fight, they may beat the odds. However, an African lion's teeth can bite to kill. This can stop the prey from making any movement. With its quick reflexes, the lion can deal a decisive blow by lunging at the bear's neck or face. Many cases were seen in which the grizzly bear dominated a male African lion completely in zoos and circus. One such incident happened in a circus where the grizzly bear killed an African lion with its paw swipes within a few minutes. The face of the lion was badly wounded by powerful swipes of the grizzly that causes the death of a lion. According to the doctor's report, the grizzly bear's paw had gone into the lion's skull, causing it to die instantly. Grizzly bears could fight till death, and that makes it a truly dangerous predator in the world. Grizzly bear versus wolf pack. Who wins this fight? Grizzly bears and wolves have coexisted for millennia. But when food is scarce, these two apex predators must fight to survive. Grizzly bears and wolves are both native to Northern Hemisphere, sharing similar wilderness habitats. Grizzly bears are a type of brown bear that lives in North America. The name grizzly bear is typically given to members of the subspecies Ursus arctos horribilis, but the scientific classification of American brown bears is not settled, and some people use grizzly bear and brown bear interchangeably. Wolves are social animals, and they instinctively form packs, either with family members or non-related wolves living close by. A typical wolf pack in the wild consists of between 8 and 15 members. Size and description. The grizzly bear is a kind of brown bear. In North America, the smaller, lighter-colored bear that lives in interior regions is often referred to as a grizzly bear, while the larger, typically darker-colored bear that lives in coastal regions is referred to as a brown bear. Grizzly bears are large and range in color from very light tan, almost white, to dark brown. They have a broad shoulder hump, short rounded ears, and a dished face. The hump is where a mass of muscles attach to the bear's backbone and give the bear additional strength for digging. They have very long claws on their front feet that also give them extra ability to dig after food and to dig their dens. Grizzly bears weigh upward of 700 pounds, 315 kilograms. The name grey wolves refers to the color of their thick grey coat, which is interrupted by flicks of yellow and pepper. Their coat has a somewhat grizzled appearance. Male grey wolves are larger than females and, in some cases, can reach weights of 175 pounds, 80 kilograms. Due to their long fur, wolves can appear much bigger than they actually are. A wolf's chest is narrower and its legs are longer than those of a large dog. Because their chests are narrow, their left and right footprints are closer together than those of a dog's. Grey wolves have very strong jaws. Range and habitat. Alaska is home to the vast majority of brown bears in North America, including grizzly bears. Approximately 30,000 brown bears, or 95% of the total population, reside in the state. Grizzly bears also live in Canada and the US states of Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. In their range, grizzly bears can adapt to a variety of habitats, including coastal regions, mixed conifer forests, grasslands, mountainous forests, and Arctic tundra. The current range of the grey wolf is limited to the following states in America: Wyoming, Alaska, Idaho, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, and Wisconsin. Along with Alaska, Canada, Russia, and a few Eastern European nations, grey wolves can also be found there. Other than people, grey wolves historically have the largest range of any land mammal. With the exception of tropical forests, grey wolves have inhabited every habitat in the northern hemisphere. In addition to deserts and mountains, grey wolves frequently live in forests, tundra, and grassy plains. Food habits. Although it is considered to be a meat eater, the grizzly is generally omnivorous. It eats a wide range of foods. 80 to 90% of its diet consists of plants. Grizzlies prey on mammals and migrating salmon where they are available, but on the whole rely on vegetation as their primary food source. For a brief time in spring, grizzly bears are significant predators of newborn elk, moose, deer, and caribou, but once these young animals are a few weeks old, they are too nimble for a bear to catch. Grizzly bears can detect a dead animal at great distances thanks to their keen sense of smell. Insect grubs, as well as adult insects like ants, ladybird beetles, and bees, are consumed in areas where they are present. Over most of the grizzly bear range, however, berries are a very important item in the bear's diet. Grey wolves are carnivores. Their natural diet consists entirely of meat, and they frequently prey on larger animals such as deer, moose, caribou, elk, bison, and muskoxen, as well as smaller animals such as beaver, hares, and other small rodents. Behavior. Except for mothers and cubs, or when there is a plentiful food source, grizzly bears are solitary animals. They communicate through sounds such as growling, moaning, or grunting, movement, and smells. They can run fast at around 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour for very short sprints, and are also good swimmers. Cubs are good at climbing trees to avoid danger, but they lose this ability as they grow older. Grizzlies will frequently rub their bodies on trees to scratch and alert other bears to their presence. Wolf pack populations can number from a few individuals to several dozen members. Packs usually consist of an alpha pair and their offspring. The alpha pair, contrary to popular belief, does not lead the pack. Rather, the alpha pair is free to breed and is given free choice of resources. An alpha pair is generally selected by psychological strength rather than physical strength. If a wolf pack is large enough, it will also have beta-ranked wolves, which are direct subordinates to the alpha pair. These wolves may breed, but do not have the resources necessary to raise pups successfully. Finally, a wolf pack may have one or more omega wolves. Omega wolves are lowest in rank. The omega wolf may be involved in raising the alpha pair's pups, or may be the one that bears the brunt of the other wolves' ill will. Let's get back to the fight. So who would win between a mature grizzly bear and a pack of wolves? Although wolves and bears have met in the wild, it is not as common as most people believe. It is difficult to predict who would win a fight between wolves and bears because it is dependent on the circumstances. Bears are much larger animals than wolves. As a result, wolves have no chance against this massive predator on their own. Bears are solitary predators that ambush or wait for their prey at a kill site. They overpower their prey by using their size and strength. Wolves are pack animals that hunt in groups to bring down large prey. They catch their prey using speed, agility, and endurance, often chasing them for miles at a time to tire them out. Usually the wolves have killed an animal, and the larger, much stronger bear invites itself to the feast, while also inviting the wolves to leave. The wolves have the advantage of numbers, teamwork, and greater agility. The bear knows that a whole pack of wolves could definitely kill or injure it in a full-on fight. The wolves also know the risk of death is too great and will back down in most cases. In a full-on death battle, it really depends on the size of the wolf pack. The wolves would most likely lose in a group of 4 to 5 because there would be too few of them to overwhelm the bear. They would win in a large pack of 15 wolves. The bear would be overwhelmed by the number of wolves. The bear would probably still kill a large number of wolves, but it would be far too many. Wolves win if they constantly harass the bear, surrounding it and nipping at it from all sides. A grizzly bear has incredible brute strength. If a grizzly swats at a wolf and connects, the wolf's life could be over. They also have long, stout claws, formidable teeth, and a thick layer of fat beneath a tough hide. Wolves have a significant advantage in terms of maneuverability. Grizzlies and wolves are both fast, but wolves are faster because they aren't nearly as bulky. A grizzly that lands a full blow on a wolf will most likely kill it, but the wolf is usually fast enough that the grizzly has difficulty landing that blow. Few such confrontations have occurred, but they almost always end in a stalemate. Grizzlies and wolves both have strengths and know how to use them, but their fighting styles are so dissimilar that they tend to cancel each other out. In a realistic situation, grizzly bears win because wolves do not want to endanger the safety of their packmates. In a death match, the bear would win against a smaller pack, while the wolves would win against a larger pack because they could overwhelm the bruin. Cougar versus grizzly bear. Who wins this fight? In the North American wilderness, cougars and bears are equally feared, especially by hikers. Cougars prefer to sneak up behind and bite the neck. Meanwhile, bears prefer to confront face to face and rip apart. This stealthy felid dash goes by several names, including mountain lion, puma, and cougar dash, and is among the most adaptable big cats in the world. The grizzly bear is a large bear from North America, sometimes referred to as the brown bear or silvertip bear. The grizzly is an awesome, feared yet admirable animal. It has been acclaimed as the second largest carnivore in North America. Size and description. Cougars vary between 5 to 9 feet, 1.5 to 2.7 meters from head to tail, while males can weigh up to 220 pounds, 100 kilograms. Females weigh less, topping out at nearly 140 pounds, 64 kilograms. The cougar is a type of cat which is large and slender with a short, coarse coat. Its color ranges from yellowish to grayish-brown, except for the belly, which is a paler color. The chest and throat are whitish. Their nose is pinkish, with a black border extending to the lips. There are black stripes on its muzzle, and the areas behind its ears and the tip of its tail are black. The eye color of the adults is grayish-brown to golden. They have a long cylindrical tail that measures about 1/3 of their total length. Their limbs are muscular and short, and they have broad feet with 5 digits on the front feet and 5 on the back feet. The grizzly bear is a large mammal with a notable hump of muscles over its shoulders. This animal is the second largest species of bear. The legs of brown bears are strong with huge paws. Their claws are rather long on their front feet, allowing them to dig their dens as well as dig for food. The ears are relatively small, and the face is concave, while the head is large with powerful jaws. These animals have thick coats, varying in color from black to brown and blonde. The guard hair of these animals is longer, sometimes having a white tip, which gives them a grizzled appearance. The males are heavier than the females and can weigh up to 880 pounds, 400 kilograms. A large female will weigh up to 440 pounds, 200 kilograms. Male grizzly bears can grow to be a height of 6.5 feet tall, 2 meters, when they are standing on their hind legs. Range and habitat. The geographic range of the cougar is the greatest of any large wild terrestrial mammal in the Western Hemisphere, from Canadian Yukon through the US, Central and South America to the southern tip of Chile. Cougars were extirpated from the eastern and central parts of North America within 200 years following European colonization, except for the remnant subpopulation in South Florida. Cougars live in a wide variety of environments, including montane coniferous forests, grassland, swamps, lowland tropical forests, dry brush country, and any other areas that offer adequate cover and prey. They use dense vegetation, rocky crevices, and caves for shelter. Grizzly bears once roamed throughout the entire western United States, south into Mexico, including the Great Plains, and along rivers in desert habitats. Populations persisted in the northern Rocky Mountains, including Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks, and in northwestern Montana and extreme northern Idaho, next to Canada. A large population of grizzly bears lives inland in Alaska and northern Canada. The southern populations in Canada's British Columbia and Alberta are greatly reduced. The habitat of the brown bear is usually riparian areas. These bears live along rivers and streams in prairies, alpine meadows, woodlands, and forests. Food habits and hunting. Cougars primarily feed on large mammals, preferring deer, but they will also eat coyotes, porcupines, beaver, mice marmots, hares, raccoons, birds, and even grasshoppers. They kill by stalking to within 30 feet of their prey before pouncing from its hiding place. It leaps onto its victim's back and bites into the neck and holds with its sharp claws. Although grizzly bears are thought of to be carnivores, they are actually omnivores. Their prey includes large mammals such as moose, deer, bison, caribou, and even black bears. The bear will move in a zigzag pattern, nose to the ground, hoping to find unsuspecting animals to feed on. In coastal areas, grizzly bears also feed up on fish such as salmon, bass, and trout. Coastal grizzly bears tend to grow larger than inland bears because of their protein-enriched fish diets. Grizzly bears also support their diet with pine nuts, sedges, bulbs, roots, berries, grasses, and various rodents. Behavior. Cougars are solitary animals and keep away from other individuals except during mating. Males will keep together immediately after having left their mother, but hardly ever as older adults. They are primarily nocturnal. Although capable of sprinting, cougars are typically ambush predators. The cougar is capable of breaking the neck of some of its smaller prey with a strong bite and momentum bearing the animal to the ground. The cat drags a kill to a preferred spot, covers it with a brush, and returns to feed over a period of days. Cougars communicate through visual and olfactory signals, and males will often make scrapes in the snow or soil. The noises they make include hisses, growls, and bird-like whistles. The grizzly bear is a territorial animal leading a solitary life. The bears usually forage in the mornings and evenings, resting in cover by day. However, they are active at any time of the day. They spend the winter months in dens, entering a dormant state. Grizzly bears are not full hibernators, so can be woken at any time. Their dens are usually caves, hollow logs, or crevices. From time to time, grizzly bears congregate into large groups to feed. The groups have social hierarchy system based on age and size. With the coming of autumn, some individuals travel hundreds of kilometers in search of a suitable source of food. Therefore, in a one-on-one battle between a cougar and a grizzly bear, who would win? Grizzlies are much bigger and much heavier than cougars by about 3 to 4 times. Grizzlies can also hunt much bigger game than the cougar, such as bison, an animal that the cougar could never hope to defeat. So in a fight to the death, the much stronger and bigger grizzly is going to have an easy time overpowering the cougar. Essentially, an extremely aggressive and resilient cougar may be able to chase off a bear and win the fight if the larger animal doesn't feel a conflict is worth the risk. After all, animals, especially solitary predators, don't just fight to the death. Cougars are very good killers. A cougar is a peerless stalker and has the tools to lower the boom on even a large, strong, and gallant animal like an adult elk. Even though an elk will outweigh a cougar by about a 4-to-1 ratio, if the cougar gets on the elk's back or is able to take it by the neck, it kills the elk. On the other hand, when cougars are attacked face to face by even a couple of dogs, they invariably turn and run like the wind, and most of the time they take to the trees. It would be impossible to imagine even a pack of dogs treeing a grizzly bear. Against a cub or a young bear, if the cougar could take the bear by surprise, land on its back, dig in with its claws and bite the neck, then yes, the cougar could kill the bear, even if the bear was twice the cougar's size. But against a mature grizzly going face to face, my bet would be on the much bigger, much stronger bear every time. A grizzly bear is much bigger and stronger than a cougar. To add, the very thick hide and fatty layer under the bear's skin would prove very problematic for the cougar to effectively slash and bite through to cause enough sufficient damage to kill the bear. Grizzly bear versus western gorilla. If a gorilla and a grizzly bear were to fight to the death, Which one would win? Let's compare these two animals. Gorillas are large apes that are native to Africa. They are typically divided into two groups. The mountain gorilla lives in the mountainous regions of Central Africa, while the lowland gorilla lives in the flat, dense forests of Central and Western Africa. The grizzly bear is a subspecies of the brown bear. These huge animals originate from Europe and Asia, but today they can be found only in North America and Canada. Size and description. The western gorilla is the species with more individuals in the wild. There are two subspecies, the western lowland gorilla and the cross river gorilla. This species has large, burly individuals. The average male height is 1.55 meters, and females are an average 1.35 meters. Their weight is on average 80 kilos in females and 157 kilos in males. Estimation based on captive individuals. Their muzzle is short, with strong muscles in the jaw area. A dark fur covers most of their body. Individuals of the species gorilla show a clearer tone than their eastern relatives, who can show brown or even slightly reddish coat. On the other hand, most adult female grizzlies weigh 130 to 180 kilograms, while adult males weigh on average 180 to 360 kilograms. Average total length in this subspecies is 198 centimeters. Grizzly bears have concave faces, a distinctive hump on their shoulders, and long claws about 2 to 4 inches long. Both the hump and the claws are traits associated with a grizzly bear's exceptional digging ability. Grizzlies are often dark brown, but can vary from very light cream to black. The long guard hairs on their backs and shoulders frequently have white tips and give the bears a grizzled appearance, hence the name grizzly. Habitat and range. A few years ago, the western gorilla distribution was almost in an uninterrupted territory, but at present there are small and isolated populations, and they have become extinct in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This species still resides in Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Angola, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Congo, and Gabon. The western lowland gorilla lives in areas of Cameroon, Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and the Central African Republic. It inhabits south of the Sanaga River, the estuary of the Congo River, continuing east until the Ubangi River. The Cross River gorilla has a limited distribution, as it only inhabits a small area between Nigeria and Cameroon. They dwell mainly in lowland tropical forests, swamp forests, and primary and secondary forests. Grizzly bears are found in many different habitats, from dense forests to subalpine meadows, open plains, and Arctic tundra. In North America, grizzly bears are found in western Canada, Alaska, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and a potentially small population in Washington. Historically, they could be found from Alaska to Mexico and from California to Ohio. Diet. Every day these gorillas travel between 1 and 4 kilometers to find fruit trees. Gorillas are mainly herbivores. Western gorillas feed on leaves, buds, and especially fruit. The availability of these varies throughout the year, so its consumption may also change. Occasionally they catch ants, termites, worms, grubs, and caterpillars. When the fruit is scarce, they are forced to eat leaves, woody vegetation, bark, and low-quality herbs. Grizzly bears are omnivores, and their diet can vary widely. They may eat seeds, berries, roots, grasses, fungi, deer, elk, fish, dead animals, and insects. In the late summer and early fall, Grizzlies enter hyperphagia, a period of 2 to 4 months when they intensify their calorie intake to put on weight for winter denning. During this time period, they can gain more than 3 pounds a day. Reproduction. It is a polygamous species, like all gorillas. Females can start having offspring when they are 8 or 9 years old, although the average sexual maturity age is 10 years. The dominant male or leader is the only one that can mate with the females of their group. And this can happen during any time of the year, since there is no specific breeding season. The gestation period is about 8.5 months, and usually only one infant is born, weighing roughly 2 kilograms. Mothers nurse their young for 3 or 4 years, and they transport and take care of them. The males hardly interact with the infants. Many babies die. If the female delivers twins, she allows one to die, because it is hard to take care and transport both. Their life expectancy in the wild is up to 40 years. Grizzly bears are one of the slowest reproducing land mammals. Females do not typically reproduce until they are 4 or 5 years old. Grizzly bears mate between May and July, but the female's body delays implantation of their eggs in the uterus until October or November. Mother bears rear cubs for 2 to 3 years. Males do not help raise the cubs. In fact, males can be a danger to the cubs, so females often avoid male grizzly bears while rearing their cubs. Behavior. The Western gorilla lives in groups of 2 to 20 individuals, with a leader, which is a silverback male, with the responsibility to defend the females in the group and their offspring. Both genders leave their born troop at adulthood. In the case of danger, the silverback male makes a threatening display for intimidating the intruder. Therefore, he stands on 2 legs, makes loud vocalizations, and beats his chest with both hands. They are diurnal and relatively sedentary because they do not perform migrations, although they travel together for months and years in search of food. Therefore, they are not territorial. Grizzly bears are normally solitary animals. However, they are not very territorial, and they may be seen feeding together where food is abundant, such as at salmon streams and whitebark pine sites. Females will rear their cubs for 2 to 3 years. When a female grizzly bear leaves her mother, they often set up their home range quite close to their mother's home range. Males will typically range further, but may also remain close by. Grizzly bears need to eat a lot in the summer and fall in order to build up sufficient fat reserves to survive the winter denning period. The duel between grizzly bear versus gorilla. Western gorillas and grizzly bears live in totally different geographical and climatic conditions. That, however, doesn't mean that they cannot engage in a vigorous fight. If they were ever brought to the same battlefield, they will put up a strong fight that may be fatal to one of them. The grizzly bear is a strong animal that is known to kill even humans. It has strong canine teeth that tear their prey's flesh. Western gorillas, on the other hand, are very flexible, fast, and can climb up a tree within seconds. This means a gorilla can strategically place itself in a position that gives it an advantage during the fight. The Western gorilla will be able to rely on its speed and flexibility to strike and hit the bear from any direction. The bear, on the other hand, is so strong that it can easily crush the gorilla if it captures it. A war between the two will be a fierce one that includes cat and mouse chases. Western gorillas are also more intelligent than grizzly bears. This means they can easily monitor the bears and know when, how, and where to strike. It is hard to predict the outcome of a duel between these two animals. Each one of them has equal chances of winning the match. The loser will most likely come out dead.